Hi, so in this little video I'm just going to show you how to create a box plot from some raw data. On the screen you can see some raw data. I've downloaded this from my solar panels from the company's website, and in it you can see that there is a semicolon separated variable file with 6 columns in it. I'm interested in only 2 columns really. The first one here, which has got the date and time information in it, and the 5th one, which contains information about how much energy was produced in a 15-minute period. You can see here the data are grouped by 15 minutes. Okay, what I'm going to do is extract the information for each hour that passes, and here you can see that on the 1st of January there were 3 readings at 6 o'clock, at 15:30 and 45, and again on the 2nd at 6 o'clock between 15:30 and 45. What we need to do is to pull into the software just columns 1 and 5, bearing in mind that we have a semicolon separated variables. That's because here in Europe the decimal separator is a comma and the thousands separator is a full stop. So we need a slightly different way of importing the data. What we're going to get is here on this side a box plot where each of the transparent blue bars represents 50% of the data. The black line across represents the median value, and the sun-like dot on each one represents the mean amount of sunshine at each period here. That's all the readings for 10 o'clock, all the readings for 11 o'clock, and so on. I've also specified exactly the units I want on the y-axis, so going up to 800 technically by groups of 50. I've given each axis a name, and I'm going to include other data as you will see in the final result. So let's just close that down and come into the software itself. I'm using RStudio here. If you're not familiar with this or R, then this is not the video for you. First thing I'm going to do is load up some libraries of functions that the software can use. The top one here is the most important. It contains lots of sub-libraries that carry out many of the functions you need to work with data. I've explicitly written out 2 down here, lubridate, which works with dates and times, and the reader, which allows you to import and export data to and from your RStudio. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is pull in to a variable, which I'm calling raw measures, using the read CSV2 because we're working with semicolons as opposed to commas. The name of the file, and then I'm telling the system to please only choose columns 1 and 5, as I mentioned when we were looking at the data themselves. When we've done that, I'm going to take the column number 5, which is called value, and I'm going to rename it to watt hour, which makes more sense for what I'm doing. So let's do that first of all. I'm going to select those top and run them, and we get 2 variables declared here on this side. There's the raw measures, the original data, and the process one. They're both the same, but they've got different names. Here, raw measures has got value written there, and process measures has got watt hour written there, which is what we asked it to do in these 2 lines here. The next thing is I want to actually extract from the timestamp just the hour that we're working with, and to ensure that the data on the bottom are read in the correct order, I'm going to convert the hours that we can extract from the time using the hour timestamp function, and make sure it's always a 2-character piece of data with a 0 on front. So anything which is 6 o'clock in the morning will be 06, 07, 08, 09, and then it's going to read the hours as they are given by the data. So let's take a look at this here. I've got the process measures is the original process measures. This is a pipe symbol. It pushes the data from process measures into this. Mutate allows us to change process measures, and we're going to change it by adding a column called the hour. All right, so I'm just going to run that. Not all of that, just that one there. And that will then show up as a third variable over here. So now it's got 3 variables in, and if we take a look at that process measures now, you can see that we've got the hour extracted in a separate column. So that's taken the hour from over here. Now then, now that we've got that, we're nearly finished, believe it or not. We're now going to take this process measures, pipe it into the plotting function in R. So ggplot, the grammar of graphics plotting functions. The most important one here is this thing here, which is called the aesthetic. Basically, it's the X and Y, although you can add other functions as you get more complex plots that you want to make. So we get the basic plot function, that is an object, and to that object we're going to add, first of all, a geometry for a box plot. The color of the dots will be dark gray, it's going to be sky blue filled, and the transparency is going to be about a half. You can play with those as much as you want. Then I'm going to add another piece to the plot. I'm now going to add a statistical summary of the mean. This is going to add the yellow suns that you saw on the picture. It's a point, and the shape of that point is designated number 20. I found that the size 4 is good for my chart, and those are going to be yellow like the sun. The X label is hour, the Y label is quarter hour watt hours. The caption, Tom Spurs made this, whatever you want. And then the title, the label for the title is this long string here. The subtitle is where I got it from, Brussels Solar. And here is me taking control of the Y-axis by saying scale Y continuous, breaking at a sequence starting at 0, going to 800, and stepping by 50 each time. So let's just run that chart, and we should see the chart appear. There we go, that's it. We've now got the title, the subtitle, down in the right corner. Tom Spurs made this. We've got the box plots with 50% bars here in sky blue, transparent. There's a bar marking the median and the yellow dot marking the mean. So we've done all of that. I'm just adding a little bit at the end here, some useful functions. The boxplot function does all of the calculations to make the box plots. If you want to see what the data are, you have to calculate them yourself. Okay, so resume, you take the process measures, we're going to group them by the hour, which is what the boxplot is doing. And then a function called reframe allows you to create some columns. The mean watt hour is here. I've got the round of the mean of the watt hour, 1 decimal place, the median of the watt hour, and the maximum of the watt hour. And when we do that, we'll see a new variable pop up here called resume. We run that, and there it is, and we look inside, and there we have the data which actually match the data that the box plot has actually put onto a plot. You can do other things with it here. I can extract data from a particular column within a variable here. The variables have got multiple columns. So if I extract the watt hour information into a variable called energy, and now I've got all of the watt hour information, and there are 4,012 of them, and then I can use that energy variable to extract data about the maximum, the mean, and the minimum. And they appear down here because I haven't actually posted them to a separate variable. The maximum is 761, the mean overall 112, and the minimum is 0. Lots of days here in Brussels where there was no sun at all. And this little function at the bottom here to finish off the best hour, I'm asking the function to find what is the maximum of the watt hours that it finds. The which function says tell me the index where the maximum function first occurs. If there are multiples, then you're going to need extra programming. And then I'm going to say in the hour part, at this index, show me what the value is. And that will be the hour when the greatest number. In this case, the 761 actually was, and we run that, and we should find that that gives us, oh, best hour not found. Why was the best hour not found? Oh, there it is. For some reason it didn't work. The best hour is 12, which coincides with our finding that the best mean there is 12. So there you go. I hope you found that useful.